Guys, I think that a lot of people are actually getting quite confused with what's going on in this market right now, but Bitcoin is displaying quite a lot of hidden strength, and I want to break this down for you in this video. But before I get there, the key thing that we have to be very, very well aware of right now in this market is that Bitcoin had resistance up at this kind of $51,000 to $54,000 area, and we have successfully used this area as resistance for quite some time. What's important though is that Bitcoin actually entered a sideways trading range, which I've drawn with this parallel channel right here, and it was ranging. It was breaking up, it was breaking down, it was breaking up, and then it broke down again. And really what these are, and it's very important to understand this before I get into the rest of the video, and it's because it's crucial background information. This is the kind of stuff that sets you apart from just a random guy that does analysis to somebody who can actually make a lot of money in these markets. And I think it's a very important distinction. If you do appreciate that, do me a favor and hit up the likes, because really what's happening here is that if you're looking at this area and you're going short, you're going to get stopped out on this move. And so if you on this move decide to go long, you're going to get stopped out on this move. And if on this move you decide to go short, you're going to get stopped out on this move, and so on. And the reason that this happens is that the market just doesn't have a lot of liquidity. One of the key things that people are talking about as a concerning point in this market right now is that overall volume is not very high, right? If we compare the volume moving average, this orange line right here, to what we had before and now what we're sitting at the moment, it's not looking good, right? There's just not a lot of volume, and it's actually declining right now as well as we're trending up, which is also interesting to take note of. And this just generally happens in the liquid markets, but it's very important to keep this in mind, because if you didn't know about this stuff and you didn't know that this stuff can happen because you're not watching this channel and so on, or you maybe just haven't studied this stuff so far, you're going to lose a lot of money. But really what I think that's happening here, just very simply, is that Bitcoin was managing to find resistance in this area where we knew Bitcoin would find resistance. It's a resistance area, and not only is it a resistance area just with this horizontal kind of resistance box that I had drawn from quite some time ago, it's also got resistance, for example, right here on the daily time frame, right? If we look at the daily time frame EMA ribbon, there's quite a bit of resistance right here offering, basically showing us that the momentum right now in this market is pretty bearish. And you can see that we managed to peak fairly high in this ribbon, nearly to the very top line, this dark red line, but we've now fallen all the way out of it. And if we measure this in terms of a percentage drop, I mean, we are down by about 6%. So it's nothing crazy, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely not a small dump as well. But again, these are the negative side, and there is a lot, right? I mean, obviously, I think that Bitcoin's still in a bearish trend. I mean, everyone and their nan is talking about Bitcoin being underneath resistance right now, which in itself is a little bit concerning for me. Fear and greed index is still fairly stable in these pretty neutral territories right here. You can see the fear and greed index just really leveling out around this 40 area, really showing us that people are still a little bit fearful, but broadly neutral in this market at the moment. But the key thing that I want to focus your attention on now is that actually, because, and this is something people are not talking about, so again, make sure you smash up the likes and subscribe if you appreciate this content, is that Bitcoin has spent quite a lot of time not in a short-term downtrend anymore, right? When Bitcoin was in this range, it was trending down basically in a descending triangle for about 16 days, and since the time of our breakout up until right now, we've now spent a week out of that bearish range. Now, obviously, when we zoom out, we are still in a bearish market, right? I mean, the market topped out at 69K and we've trended all the way down to 40. I mean, it's absolutely not up for debate. This is a bearish trend at the moment, but the key thing is that that's when we zoom out. If we look at the shorter term perspective, Bitcoin managed to get out of that mess, and it's now, not necessarily in a bullish place, but it's definitely leaning a little bit more neutral again, as is evident by the fear and greed index that you can't even see this, that I look at quite a bit on this YouTube channel. And I think that's really important, because this shows that Bitcoin has managed to establish a fair bit of strength. That is very, very important, right? Bitcoin got a rejection from this level, and it only dropped down to the 49K area and then challenged it again and actually managed to rise a little bit higher. Now, I know this was a swing failure pattern, and so again, I'll refer you back to the very beginning of this video when I was talking about how actually this is liquidity hunting. This is people getting stopped out. This is exchanges making money off traders that just don't know any better. But at the very same time, there is still quite a case to be made that Bitcoin has actually shown a good amount of strength. I mean, it's nothing crazy, but it's definitely not looking weak. And the clearest way I can demonstrate this to you is actually taking this onto a naked chart and showing you the Ichimoku cloud, because you guys know that this is a key indicator that I've been looking at. And you'll remember, if you've been watching this channel regularly, that I was saying that our resistance cloud right here, this resistance cloud, is going to close off and become support if Bitcoin stays above this level. And that's exactly what happened. And the key thing to keep in mind right now is that for now, if Bitcoin just manages to trade in this area for another day, and it's already done 7 days, right, above this resistance range, if it's able to do another day, we're going to start hitting support. And it's not just this indicator. If we look at the momentum in the chart, for example, we're actually below it just now, but we were finding support from the 4-hour EMA ribbon, and we're not far away from being able to recover that as well. If we zoom out a little bit more, we'll start to see, for example, on the 6-hour time frame that actually, it still don't have support there. You'll start to see that generally, though, we're not in super bearish places, right? I mean, we did drop below the EMA ribbon, yes, 100%, don't get me wrong there, but we didn't drop down by much. And one of the key things I actually want to draw your attention back to on the 4-hour time frame is that it looks like Bitcoin could be, forming a little bit of a reversal right now, right? I mean, it's not really dropping down. We're getting some rejection wicks when we target the downside, meaning the market is being bought back up. And just in terms of Bitcoin finding support, I mean, to me, it makes sense, right? I mean, this range, having quite a bit of consolidation, some key reversal points recently as well. Look, my point is overall that I think Bitcoin just doesn't have as much weakness as people want to believe it does. Yes, definitely, this could be a bear flag and Bitcoin is going to keep on dropping down, but it's too early to be drawing those conclusions in my opinion just now. I mean, Bitcoin is very much in the middle of a range. Key support in my opinion is going to be around the 47k area. This one's a quite important support area. And until Bitcoin drops here, it's not going to be super bullish. Obviously this is the support area, so this is where I'll turn bullish. And until Bitcoin rises up here, it's not going to be super bearish in my opinion. Yes, of course, the overarching energy is still to the downside, and I'm not denying that. I definitely still think that Bitcoin can still set another low, but the key thing to keep in mind again is really what we're doing when we zoom out right now is we're forming corrections. I think that's really important, and I think that people are forgetting about that. Bitcoin is very much on the long term charts still in an uptrend. And if it's in an uptrend, it needs corrections. Sometimes our corrections look like this. Sometimes our corrections look a little bit bigger. But we've spent a lot of time and we've dropped down by a lot. So I think that's giving us a lot of pressure to the downside already. And I think that's enough of a correction. But with that, I do have to get going. A very, very quick video for you all. If you appreciated this, do me a favor and smash up the likes. Follow these steps on screen if you want to jump inside VIP. Hopefully the webcam was all okay in today's video as well. And I'll see you all in the very next one. So once again, hit up the like, subscribe, tick the bell, Bybit if you want $4,000 for free. Follow the first link in the description, make your first deposit. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.